Greetings, welcome back to my channel. It's Stasia Bliss. We are here talking about Kundalini awakenings and life force management techniques. That's the whole basis of the channel, so welcome. I hope that what you need can be found here. As within every video, always just take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Today is Wednesday, the day I'm recording this, that is ruled by Mercury, the energy of the mercurial nature, which is the mind, the messenger of the gods sort of energy. So that's definitely related to throat and brow chakra in the awakening. So today I want to just do a little chat about the shadow work. This came up as a question on a recent video, and I do have another video or probably a few on shadow work, but it's always good to have a more recent one and an easier to access one and something more pertinent for the now. So let's just see how this comes through today. So before we begin, please, if you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe. I'm here every day, 6 days a week. That's part of my karma yoga, my seva to humanity, is to turn around and share back the things that I've learned over the past 3 decades of my awakening process since, back before I turned 20. One of my most profound awakening moments was almost breaking my neck, country dancing, falling 6 feet onto the cement floor onto the top of my head and coming within a hair's width of probably dying, but bringing my attention so fully to my spine. In the years that preceded, with scoliosis as a child and chiropractor all the time, to focusing on my spine to bring it back into position, this opened up huge amounts of life force currents for me that I had to work with and learn to deal with very soon. It also brought a lot of experiences really fast. It took me to India, took me back within myself. I know someone said in a comment, the answers aren't in India, they're in yourself, of course, but sometimes you have to go as a Sagittarius somewhere far away to find that the answers are all here. But being in that culture did really serve me in finding out how to best look within. So let's talk shadow work. Shadow work is, of course, good for your entire awakening process, especially the dark night of the soul stuff, but it does help us get through all of the layers. So let's talk about it like this. Our totality of our humanness, which is our human and divine nature. It's all of it. It's both. It's not trying to get out of human to divine, and it's not forgetting divine to be fully human. It's an integration of the both. So just like Kundalini is integration of left and right, it's integration of divine and human, lower and upper chakras, and that of course meets in the heart. So that's why this works so powerful, because it requires of us to activate our sense of self-love. And sometimes that can be the hardest thing. I once wrote a song on my guitar for my kids that planet Earth was the university of self-worth, because that's kind of what we're all here trying to figure out, is how to love ourselves in this, strange world with all these feelings and, these experiences that we have. So with shadow work, the idea is there's things that we accept about ourselves, they're in the light. And then there's things that we don't want to look at. They're in the shadow. They're the things we put behind us. They're the things that we don't want to say, that maybe we're embarrassed about, or that we don't like, that we repel, that we think are not us, or that we want to heal from or get over or stay away from. And so we sort of isolate ourselves from parts of ourselves, because in the largest reality system, in the greatest body, if we go back to yoga, of the koshas, from physical all the way out into the bliss body, the Anandamaya kosha and beyond, we are all of it. We are connected to all of it. So that means all of the shadow nature is actually an aspect of us. And that doesn't mean it's all of us. It just means that we're all of it, and it's maybe a speck in our totality, but we have to, in order to evolve and fully self-realize, we have to embrace even the specks that are the shadow, that are the unloved, unliked, unwanted parts of ourselves, because we can't go home without all of it. And by home, I mean we can't raise our consciousness to understand ourselves in the presence of God, to understand ourselves as fully realized beings and access our full God consciousness self, our Christed self, our most elevated, expanded version of ourself, if we're saying every part of me except these parts. So we have to bring them into the fold. We have to love all the little children. Let all of those, unwanted parts of ourselves come home. There's a lot of metaphors about this in the Bible and other spiritual texts about bringing the sheep. The good shepherd brings the sheep home. That's not just about like Jesus and other disciples. That's also about our Christ consciousness, our highest mind, bringing all aspects of ourself home to ourself. The kingdom of God is within us. So shadow work is making a list, first of all. This is the best way I know how to do it, of all the things you don't want to experience, don't like, hate, wish didn't happen, between yourself and others, or just in yourself. Make a list. That's your shadow work list. Okay, then we're going down the list. We're going to each thing. And this applies to physical symptoms as well. So right now I'm having a physical symptom, and so I'll share to be vulnerable with you so you can see how to do this. So I have a reoccurring spider bite injury from 12 years ago. I was bit by a poisonous spider, and every 4 years or so, it comes back and bursts out and asks me to deal with it. So it kind of blows up on my right leg, and it's very uncomfortable and ugly, and so there's a lot to that, and it's better every time because I've been doing a lot of work on it every time, and every 4 years or so I'm further along my path, and I'm more able to love more parts of myself. But so here's the journey. So with something, external or anything, like in this case, we have a hard time sometimes loving things that we call disgusting or ugly, or that other people would find repulsive, right? So with that, it's like, can I love this part of me too? Am I lovable even if I have this big red mark on my leg? Am I lovable with that too? And so the work is to recognize, yes, I am worthy even with this part. This part of me too is beautiful. In the totality of the oneness, I can love this part of me too. There's value in this experience also. And to really feel into that and really feel it, I can love this part of me too. And sometimes it's hard when it's a really something you hate, or it's really painful. You're like, no, I don't love this painful part, or no, I don't love this outbreak, or this, problem, or this wound, or whatever it is. But the shadow work is we must find the compassion for ourselves. We must dig deep and find the self-love and self-appreciation for this too. Because how can we cultivate higher consciousness? How can we love all beings and be a Christ itself, be an evolved presence on the planet, be a God self? You want to ascend, that's God consciousness. That's being a God being on earth. So if we are going to be that, that involves having compassion for all of humanity and loving all of humanity and taking humanity in and being like, oh, I can hold space for you too and love you too. So we have to do that with ourselves first. We can't just go out and love humanity if we can't love even the ugliest parts of ourselves. How can we love an ugly person or a distasteful person and be a compassionate servant of the divine? and be a healer and be a teacher. Like, how can we be that if we detest parts of ourselves? If we want to get rid of parts of ourselves, like, how can we? We can't. That's the truth of it. Like, we have to start here. The work is within ourselves. This has been my journey over the years, is the universe just keeps bringing me one undesirable experience after another and saying, can you love this one too? Can you love this one too, Stasia? How about this one? How about abandonment? Can you love yourself if you're feeling abandoned? Can you love rejection? Can you love being humiliated? Can you love the humiliated part of you too? Can you love distraught? Can you love poor you? Can you love broken you? Can you love you when you're crippled? Can you love you when you're sick? Can you love you when you're depressed? Like, all these parts of you are valuable. They're valuable. And sometimes that's hard to see. And so the work is, okay, so we found the peace. Can I love this part of me too? All right, well, what's a value of it? What am I learning? What is the takeaway? What is it asking me to do that I would have never done had this issue not arose, right? So for me, with this, it causes me to slow down. It causes me to, ask for help in certain ways. I mean, I'm still functional. I can still perform sessions and stuff, but sometimes it's inflamed and it hurts, and I have to like put my foot up and take a break, or ask my son to drive because it's my driving foot. So when I look at these things, I'm going to a healing clinic more often to focus on that part. So I would not have done these things were it not for this particular wound. So this wound, this issue, causes me to evolve in certain ways. It pulls up strengths. I spoke of this in another video when my second baby was born. His dad left, and I was devastated. I was forced then to figure out how to support my two kids by myself, and I wasn't prepared to do that. Even though I had been working for myself, I'd mostly been teaching yoga, and yoga's great. I taught like 5 or 6 classes a day for 12 years in Portland, but I could support myself to an extent, but 2 kids, and I couldn't just leave babies and go off and teach. So it caused me to dig deep. It caused me to find my provider self. It caused me to find the part of me who was the business woman, who could do it, who could get beyond these things. And I could not blame him. Like, that action, blaming doesn't do any good, right? It's just like, it just hurts yourself. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't teach them anything. It doesn't change the situation. It's easy because it takes responsibility off of us, and it says it's not because of me, it's because of something else that somebody else did, and woe is me. Believe me, I've been there. It's an easy place to go to, but it's not an empowering place, and it doesn't help us to evolve, and it doesn't get us through the storm to the next place. It actually holds us back. So for me, I had to find, okay, the benefit of the abandonment, the benefit of the heartbreak, and it caused me to dig deep for an inner strength and to do what I needed to do for the children and for me to survive and move forward. It pushed new abilities out of me. Okay, so that's what I mean by the benefit. You can't look at face value and say, okay, you see the benefit of abandonment? It seems mean, right? And that's why a lot of people call this sort of work at surface vision gaslighting. Oh, you're gaslighting, you're victim blaming and stuff. But I mean, I can do this all day long because I've been the victim in so many circumstances, okay? I could do a whole video, it lasts hours long, on all the things that have happened to me, okay? And I'll just throw some out here and there, all right? But I don't want to make this story like that all about me, but I do want to say this is why I share this work, because this worked for me. This empowered me. This brought me to a new level of financial stability, of self-love, of creative potential, of my brilliance, of, I love what I do. I love my children. I love my life. And of course, yes, I want to be with the beloved. Of course I do. But I realize that I can only be with the beloved in a healed and whole state when I love all the parts about me. Otherwise, I'm always going to find something wrong with the other. And that's a conversation about relationship work and relationship alchemy that we'll have at a different time. And some of the videos do touch on that. But this is about self-responsibility and looking at the things we don't like and finding why they're there. Finding it from an angelic perspective. If you could look at yourself knowing you created this life from a place of wisdom, you knew you needed to get to this point of empowerment. To get there, you would need things along the way to push you, to grow, to expand you. You know, we don't just get handed empowerment. It's not like, great, you're awake, Kundalini's awakened, here you go, like you remember everything. We have to grow into it. We have to embody, and that's the most difficult thing, and that's why I'm here as a guide. It is challenging. It is hard. I feel ya. I've been doing this for 30 years. Some people are awakening right now, and they have to go through it all in a year or in a few months, and like, I really feel for you, and that's why I'm here, like, putting this information out, because I can't imagine going through all that in so short a period of time. Like for me, it's been over decades and slowly, and the energy was much slower then. The energy is speeded up. More is required. It's faster. The world's sped up, you know. So find the things you don't like. Decide that you're going to love them about yourself. Really feel and say to yourself, I love this about me too. And at first you're not going to. You're going to resist and repel, but keep saying it. Keep opening your heart to it until you feel an emotional response. And then write some of the benefits of that in your life. And you're going to have to dig for this. Okay, it's not the surface stuff where there's no benefit. Yes, there is. So dig and find it. And when you find it, tears may come. You may journal about it. This is the most profound work. The most profound. And why the dark night of the soul is so challenging, because it forces us into these places. And when we do this work, boom, Kundalini shoots up and opens all the other centers, because boom, we found self-compassion, we found empowerment, third chakra, heart chakra, we found our voice, we found the inspiration. This is all connected to doing the second chakra work of going through the difficult passage. Okay, I have a session in a moment, so I'm going to jump off, but I love you. Thank you for being here. I will see you tomorrow. Namaste, and good luck with this work. If you need help, please reach out. Okay. And I know my website's been down. I'm working on that. So just send me an email if you need to, if it's not up again. Okay.